Good morning, folks. Cheers. Grab your guitar. Let's do some practicing, some morning practice here. Um, Today, we're going to talk about some scale application to Fly Me to the Moon. Type in the chat if you are watching this so I know who's watching, and let me know where you are, where you're at. It's always nice to see folks from around the world tune in. And especially Patreon members, thanks for being a Patreon member. That's where I share all of my lessons and my huge archive of materials and lessons, and have a wonderful community of musicians. So thanks again for being a Patreon member. It's free to join. There's different tier levels, and I'll talk more about that if you have questions on that. There's a little bit of changes happening on Patreon. So again, type in the chat so I know who's watching, and let's do some practicing here on Fly Me to the Moon. Let's get a little bit more coffee first. Cheers. Fly Me to the Moon is just one of those great jazz. Oh, don't forget to do this too if you enjoy the live streams. Fly Me to the Moon is one of those great jazz standards. It's just so melodic. It's just the melody is super catchy, so beautiful, and it's a great example of targeting thirds to really have a nice melodic quality to it. So check out that PDF that I'm attaching to the link here. It's in the description and in the comments. Because the melody is basically this. It's almost like Bach, like almost classical, to where there's a set target of those thirds against the bass note, against the chords. So what I'm going to talk about here is kind of just a few demonstrations of that a little bit further. I'll use the backing track here as well. So let me actually just kind of pop on the backing track, then I'll chat a little bit more about what's going on here. Let's see, I'm just going to grab one online. If you're just tuning in, welcome, good morning. Thanks for joining me on this practice session. I like to practice day and night, sometimes in the middle of the night. I'll just get up and have some ideas and I want to practice. I often record it and put it on Patreon. Again, that's kind of my community and where I archive all of my lessons and materials. So please join me on Patreon if you haven't already become a member. Type in the chat here too. Let me see who's watching this, so I know if I'm gonna go a little bit deeper today. So hopefully you can see this backing track I just loaded up here online. I put in Greasy Organ, but that wasn't available, so I just grabbed this one here. There I just played I started on the third degree, the C on the A minor, D minor, G. It's beautiful because it goes around the cycle. So check out that PDF. It's kind of demonstrated there, but I kind of show it like this. And it shows it nicely as far as like how it just lines up so beautifully. But even if you just did a simple exercise like this, quarter note, like you're walking a bass line, just write down the scale. That was essentially a C major scale. It's going to sound so good. I mean, just add a little bit of rhythm. Just check that out. That's a nice little line. I'm just starting on C and going right down the scale. I put a B flat there in the way. I'll show you here. Let me demonstrate that. Then I'll show you a couple other things that we can experiment with. Hopefully you can hear my guitar. Let me know if not. 1, 2, round C. Third, 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 you basically land on thirds the whole way through. It's through this progression. If you just walk down the scale, I did put a B flat in over here when I was going to the A note to target the F. So that's a secondary dominant, and that's nice, to have a secondary dominant that you want to adapt your scale. I'm going to demonstrate that again. So essentially, it was just this little exercise, just down the scale. There's that B flat. I'm on the E note. There's low. Then I could just go up to D here. And then G sharp here for the E7. And then I can stop there. That was the first 8 bars. So that's what I did there. I put a C sharp over on the A7 there just to go to D minor. I put a G sharp on the E7. So you do kind of want to make sure you're following the changes. I mean, that's important. So check out my scale strategies if you are a Patreon member, or I already have that all mapped out. So hopefully you know what scales to use. So I'm just talking more about playing with motifs, motivically, and just some cool concepts with this song that you can do. Let's do that one more time. Right, with 1, 2, ready, go. Third, 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 third. And now it's kind of doing a little different because it doesn't quite lay out, so you have to add a passing tone. And that's where I'm going to kind of just start with just taking. I want to talk about just taking a motif, because a lot of times, folks are saying, well, what do I do with scales? Instead of just kind of noodling, it's nice to have some structure with it. And again, the key to it to me is targeting. Okay. And scales are really just connectors, to the chord tones, essentially. So you just want to use the scales appropriately to connect the chord tones. And there's some really simple and melodic things that you can do, again, along the lines of motifs and kind of taking an idea and moving it around. When I'll talk about that as well. Let me see who's tuning into this stream. Whoa, we've got a few people here. Hey, Vic. Hey, I didn't know you were in Arizona. Welcome. Alan, welcome back. Hey, you made it to a live chat. Oh, from India. Hey, good to see you. That's cool. Yes, Alan, I know. I didn't know you were from Indiana, though I think I have another member from Indiana. Aaron. Is this Aaron from Portland, Washington? Thanks, guys. Good to see you. So now that I'm off the screen share again, I'm just going to demonstrate that exercise. It's just going down the scale, but when you put it to the backing track, it just sounds super melodic. And I just ended on A, which is the F major 7, the F major 7 chord. So you can always jump an octave too. You don't have to use the full, but I just wanted to show you that essentially I'm going down the scale. As a matter of fact, check this out. Actually, here I'll do it up high, and I can always use my iReal Pro. Sometimes I like for you to see the actual chords go by, so you know what chord I'm on. But check it out. I'll do it up high. This is my C. Wait, where is it at here? That's my B flat there. That's going to an F chord. G sharp. See here, that's E7. And I can, once I'm here, I can instead go up the octave. So, and then A7. And now this is where I want to talk about just coming up with a scale motif. And again, so there on the D minor chord, again, it's important to know the chord progression. So you should know D minor, G7, C, A7, D minor. That was D minor, G7, and let's do a new one. So right there, I started just to play a little scale motif. And now I'm going to think about it, because when you're improvising, it's like composing in real time. Of course, we can. This is what practicing is for. It's to kind of, this is how I like to practice, at least. Is to kind of just break down what I'm thinking and try to develop ideas so that I can have that flexibility when I'm actually playing live to be able to pull it off live, which is harder to do. And sometimes you're successful. Sometimes you could, do a little bit longer than other times. But it's really nice to play with motifs. So check this out here. I did that one motif, A on A minor. We're talking about scales. Last time I was talking about arpeggiating, and that's a little bit easier arpeggiating because you're doing more chord tones. Scales, you have to be a little bit more choosy. So I did this. So if you want to do that with me here, I'll show you my full here. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. So that connected me from A minor. We're in the key of C, by the way, you guys, to D minor. Now the next two chords are G7 to C major. So if I do this lick motif on A minor to D minor, I started on A and I got to the F of the D. Well, now I'm going to G to C, so I'm going to start on G, G. So there I have a sequence. It's essentially the same sequence, just moved diatonically in the key of C. So try that with me. Now go to G. Can I continue that on Fly Me to the Moon? Yes. So I went from A to G. Now I'm going to be on F. Hear it? So I'm just staying diatonic, but I'm doing a little motif with a rhythm. Boo, ba-doo, ba-doo, ba-doo. Boo, ba-doo, ba-doo, ba-doo. F, bo, ba-doo, ba-doo, ba-doo. Now I'm on E, bo, ba-doo, 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 and that's the A minor. But the E is the E7 chord, so I have to be a little bit more careful. I have to get a G sharp in there. I would use an A harmonic minor scale. So it would be this. And then A7. And then now I could be on D minor. So this is, in theory, this all works. Hey, thanks, guys. Good to see you, Marcus, Valley Boy. Valley Boy 485. I love seeing people's different various names, but it's always nice to know your names. Let me know if you're a Patreon member too. It's always good to see who's here on Patreon, which is my online music community. Yada yada yada. If you haven't already joined, I'm just going to type it in the chat here. Grab the PDF. It's on Patreon right now. Free PDF. I put a lot of free stuff on Patreon for folks. It's a great community. I've got 6,250 posts and lessons, new lessons daily. So grab some, join the community. Actually join it now because I'm closing the tier levels and there's a little bump in pricing due to inflation. And cost of coffee is a little bit more expensive. So if you join today, actually, you're grandfathered into the pricing. And I personally recommend the platinum tier. If you're joining today, tomorrow it's going to be the iridium tier, which is the next level above platinum. But if you join today, then you're kind of grandfathered in. But if you join at the silver tier today, you have access to all of my PDFs and all of my sound slices. So that's always like the starting point. But I recommend the platinum because that's where you get access to everything. Carl, good to see you. Now I know your moniker. Thanks for the endorsement, Alan. I'm glad that you enjoy everything on Patreon. It's a really great community. Again, it's my favorite place to practice and share stuff. So I'm glad you guys are with me here. Let's go back to the scale motif on Fly Me to the Moon. I just happened to play one little, I don't know what that is, one little scale idea, but now I had to think about how can I navigate it through the progression, and that's the interesting thing. Boom. G, F, E, but with an A harmonic minor. Hopefully you can hear the progression, right? I mean, this is part of it, is the use of sequences like the progression. Now I'm on D minor to G7. I'll do this. And that's kind of a nice little 2-5 lick. Now I'm on, some people play E minor 7, some people play C major 7. I'm going to do the E minor here. And that's the third of the A7. Now I'm on D minor, and I can start on, I'm not going to start on the root, I'm going to sequence it going up. So I'm going to be on F. And I can write this all out too. It's just kind of a spur of the moment here. But it's just showing how you can use scales creatively besides just random noodling around. So again, scales are great. Noodling is great too, but it's nice to think compositionally, motivically. That's a little bit more, yeah, as I'm demonstrating, you have to kind of think about it a little bit, but I'm still playing scales. I'm not just, running up. It's not like, rock guitar where you're just kind of noodling around patterns and stuff. It's not about that really. It's more thinking compositionally. And I think it's hard, but that's kind of the level that I strive to be at when I'm soloing, is essentially to try to create some interesting melodies. Because when you analyze really beautiful melodies, they all have that for the most part, they have use of motifs, use of sequences, targeting, stuff like that. Jeremy, welcome. Patreon member, thank you. Hey, I'm glad you made the live stream. Cheers. Okay, let's stay focused. Why don't you guys do this with me? It's just a little morning practice session. So first of all, if you're just tuning in, I kind of demonstrated how Fly Me to the Moon is such a cool tune. Those 4 bars, and it goes on. It's a sequence, but I demonstrated that the melody could be this, or this, like soloing ideas could be just going down the scale. So cool. Just like, it sounds good. You're basically landing on thirds if you do that, because the progression is going the cycle of fourths backwards. It's mathematically makes sense. But it's also nice just to kind of take some scale patterns. So that's where I just played a little motif that I'm trying to work it in. This is, again, really valuable practice time versus just noodling. Because honestly, I don't know. Nobody wants to hear that stuff. At least I don't want to hear it so much on it, just random noodling on scales. But I prefer more melodic motifs. So if you do something like this, that was connecting the A minor to the D minor. I'm thinking about this, and then G7 to the C. Now I'm on F major 7. I did a B flat there. You don't want to do a B flat one. I still want to be in C, not F. Now I'm on B half diminished. See, I'll just show you here. And then on E7, now I'm on A harmonic minor. This is where the scale practicing kind of comes in to know what scales. I'm going to do this finger. It's kind of Django Reinhardt. Then A7. Okay. Now, let's try that out. Hopefully you do that with me again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to go to G. Now I'm going to go to F. I'm just sequencing it down because that's the beauty of the melody. So there's a nice little melodic leap. Do, 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 do. You can even hold it. Da, da. So you get that da, da. You get these nice, they call it suspensions in classical music. Da, da, dee, da, dee, da, da, da. It's a sequence. So let's try that over the backing track again and see how that sounds. Let me check some comments. More melody than chord shapes. Is it better to play? Let's play more of the melody than chord shapes. Can you expand on that, Jeremy? Because guitar players love to think chord shapes. I know I love to think chord shapes too when I'm playing kind of phrases, licks, and lines. This is almost a little bit more compositional to where I'm actually just kind of staying in position and hopefully you know what chord you're on. Like I was on the F major 7, so I can kind of hopefully show you what chord I'm on at the time. E7, A minor, A7, D minor, G7. This is kind of the Joe Pass method. D minor 7. I'm on the third here. G7. And then C major. And that's the So, Jeremy, to answer your question, I think it's a good idea to always keep track of the chord shape or at least the chord progression, even if you're not necessarily playing the chord or it's not chord melody necessarily, but it's nice to have the harmony in your mind. Again, this is stuff that we want to practice during the practice session. When you're actually on the gig or playing, you're intuitively going to do it more, and sometimes you nail it, sometimes you don't. I'm just reading some comments here. I'm in the key of C major. Yes, Vic. I'm in C major. I'm staying there until I go to A harmonic minor. Correct. I did do an F major scale too on that C7 chord. I had a B flat, which kind of leads me. It's a quick like C mixolydian if you're really thinking about it that way. That leads us to the fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars right here, C7. And you want to get that B flat to lead us to that F. So it's really a quick scale change. Let me see what spring right there is like E7. So now I'm just noodling scales just to show you what I'm thinking. The harmonic minor. And then A minor, back to A minor, Aeolian, and then A7, D harmonic minor. So again, it's nice to know those scales that you're basing it off of. But then when you're actually soloing, how I'm demonstrating right now, slowing it down, playing motivically, you're going to use those notes, but hopefully in a little more melodic, thoughtful way. I don't know. And there's some different things that you can do. Like on the C major, I did this. So, sorry. That'd be to the A7 there. I want to go to A7, the third, but C sharp there. But on the C major here, I went like this. I hit an F sharp. That's a Lydian sound on the C major. We're in the key of C, so that F sharp should be an F natural, but I'm kind of treating it like an E minor. And that's where, you kind of never know what the band's going to do because the chart might say C, the chart might say, the band might play E minor. You never know, but it just sounds good, the Lydian. So again, understand those little things. And again, I can attach my scale worksheet. I don't think I put that in the comments. I just put one soloing idea as the worksheet. That's the PDF. But here, you know what? I'll just do this while you guys are chatting. Feel free to chat. I'll go back to my Patreon for a sec. Actually, you know what? Here, why don't I do this? I'm gonna do two things. I'll let you guys practice these concepts while I go to Patreon and add another worksheet for you, in case you don't already have that one. It's just scale. Yeah, I want you all to know the basic scales to choose for Fly Me to the Moon. Like I'm saying, as Vic was mentioning, the first part's just diatonic. See that B flat. I hear that. And then back to A minor, Aeolian. A harmonic minor, right, Vic? D harmonic minor. Back to key of C, Aeolian, if you would think A minor. D harmonic minor. Kiss me, harmonic minor, A, boom. Then back to A minor. Da, 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 da. So I did a little new motif there. And again, check out that scale soloing strategies worksheet because I included stuff like that. This. Da, 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 da. So if I do that one phrase from the A minor to D minor, my goal is to try to connect it and do the same thing on the next two chords. Da, 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 da. Now I'm going to do it again. Now, so G7 to C. Now I'm on F chord. Da. Let's see. I'll do it here. So again, there's a little bit of theory involved. You know your scales, but then you just kind of are targeting. That's the key word, targeting. So let me see. I'm going to push play. Let me go back to this backing track here, so you guys can just jam on this backing track from this guitar improvisation. I'm sure you guys know it's pretty popular. Here from the top, guitar improvisation. Thanks for the backing track today. Here we go. Eyes around me. F. See the top. Third. Target. Around F. And even keep doing that. Another word on that and see if you can just put it up and diddle. Alright, so I'm adding another shape to this. Go to that link in the description if you want to grab this worksheet I'm uploading right now. It's another scale. I've got tons of stuff. Including a whole with stuff. Let's go back and practice this motif here. The scale motif right here, A. Third. 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 E. Third. Third. E. I'm going to E. Third, F. Third. And there I had it, a new motif. I went da da do and da da. You could just take one idea and move it around. On the A minor, we could go da da do. On the D minor, da da do. So I'm going 2 3, 1. On the A minor, I went, this is a new motif. On the A minor, 2, 3, 1. D minor, 2, 3, 1. On the G7, 2, 3, 1. On the C, 2, 3, 1. You get the idea? On the F, 2, 3, 1. Buddy boom, buddy boom. We can practice these little motifs through the progression. It's not easy. It's like playing a game, to see how long you can kind of keep the motif, the idea going through. So anyways, that's all I wanted to jam out on today for this practice session. Don't forget to do this if you enjoy the live streams. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on Patreon, and we'll see you back on here on YouTube for some more practicing and some concepts, soloing ideas. Have a great day. Talk to you later. See you guys.